In a small Mississippi town, two police officers arrested a black man at a highway rest stop. Their actions laced with racial bias and unwarranted aggression, unaware that their detainee was Judge Terrence L. Brooks, a respected circuit court judge known for his commitment to justice. The officer's misconduct, captured on body cameras, led to a stunning turn of events when Brooks, released after the wrongful arrest, presided over their disciplinary hearing the following day, exposing systemic flaws and sparking a reckoning that reshaped the town's police department. This incident, rooted in prejudice and power, became a powerful testament to accountability and the unexpected authority of one man's position. Terrence L. Brooks, a 50-year-old circuit court judge, was driving home to Jackson, Mississippi, after visiting his elderly mother in a neighboring county on a humid July evening in 2024. Brooks had served on the bench for over a decade, earning a reputation for fairness and a no-nonsense approach to upholding the law. His career began as a public defender, advocating for marginalized communities, before he rose to become one of the state's most respected judges. That evening, he stopped at a rest area along Interstate 55 to stretch his legs and check emails. As Brooks sat in his sedan, reviewing court documents on his phone, a police cruiser pulled up beside him. Officers Michael Reed and David Tanner, both with the Rankin County Police Department, approached his vehicle. Reed, a 15-year veteran, tapped on the window, his tone sharp. "What are you doing here?" he demanded, shining a flashlight into Brooks' face. Brooks, maintaining his composure, lowered his window. "I'm taking a break from driving. Is there a problem, officer?" Reed's response was immediate and accusatory. This rest stop had issues with loitering and suspicious activity. "Show me some ID." Brooks provided his driver's license and judicial ID, which identified him as a circuit court judge. Reed glanced at the IDs, but dismissed them. "This doesn't look right," he said, passing them to Tanner. "Step out of the vehicle." Brooks, trained in de-escalation from years in the courtroom, complied but questioned the grounds for their suspicion. "Can you explain what I've done to warrant this?" he asked calmly. Tanner, younger and more aggressive, snapped, "You don't get to question us. We're in charge here." He accused Brooks of acting evasive, despite his compliance. When Brooks reiterated his identity as a judge, Reed scoffed. "Judge? Yeah, right. You're just trying to get out of trouble." The officer searched Brooks' car without consent, finding nothing but legal briefs and a laptop. Frustrated, Reed handcuffed Brooks, claiming he was obstructing an investigation. Tanner added, "People like you always have something to hide." The racial undertone was unmistakable, and Brooks, though furious, remained silent, aware that the body cameras were recording. At the Rankin County Sheriff's Office, Brooks was booked on charges of loitering and resisting arrest. He requested a phone call and contacted his wife, Angela, a civil rights attorney. Angela arrived within an hour, furious but focused. She demanded to see the body camera footage and filed an immediate complaint with the sheriff's office. By midnight, after the department verified Brooks' identity, the charges were dropped and he was released. The officers, however, faced no immediate consequences, as their supervisor deemed the arrest a misunderstanding. The next morning, Reed and Tanner were summoned to a disciplinary hearing at the Rankin County Courthouse for unrelated complaints filed weeks earlier by black residents, alleging racial profiling. The presiding judge, to their shock, was Terrence L. Brooks. When the officers entered the courtroom and saw Brooks on the bench, their faces paled. Brooks, in his black robe, maintained a professional demeanor, but his presence was a powerful statement. The hearing addressed complaints against Reed and Tanner for stopping black drivers without cause, using excessive force, and making racially charged remarks. Brooks reviewed the evidence, including body camera footage from prior incidents, which showed a pattern of misconduct. He then addressed the previous night's events, noting that the footage from his arrest was under review by the sheriff's Internal Affairs Division. "Officers Reed and Tanner," Brooks began, his voice steady, "your actions last night at the rest stop are part of a broader pattern. The evidence before me shows a disregard for constitutional rights and a bias that has no place in law enforcement. I'm recusing myself from this hearing due to personal involvement, but I'm ensuring it's handled by an impartial judge." Brooks stepped down, transferring the case to Judge Emily Carter, a colleague known for her rigorous approach. He then filed a formal complaint with the Mississippi Department of Public Safety, requesting an external investigation into Rankin County's policing practices. The incident, already gaining traction on social media after Angela leaked details to a local reporter, exploded into national news. Outlets like CNN and the Washington Post covered the story, with headlines like "Judge Arrested by Racist Cops Presides Over Their Hearing." The community response was swift. Black residents of Rankin County, long frustrated by the department's practices, organized protests outside the sheriff's office, demanding reform. Reverend Clara Thompson, a local pastor, led a rally, citing Brooks' arrest as evidence of systemic racism. "If they can do this to a judge," she told the crowd, "imagine what they do to the rest of us." Sheriff William Holt, under pressure, suspended Reed and Tanner pending the investigation. He issued a public apology to Brooks, but it was met with skepticism. Brooks, meanwhile, met with the Mississippi NAACP, which offered legal and public support. He also contacted the Department of Justice, DOJ, requesting a federal review of Rankin County's policing practices, citing a pattern of civil rights violations. The external investigation, conducted by the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, MBI, revealed troubling findings. Over the past 3 years, Rankin County had received 47 complaints of racial profiling, with Reed and Tanner named in 15. The department's training was outdated, and oversight was lax, allowing officers to act with impunity. The MBI report specifically criticized the rest stop incident, noting that Brooks' arrest lacked probable cause and was influenced by racial bias. Brooks filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the Rankin County Sheriff's Office, Reed, Tanner, and the county, seeking damages to fund community programs. His legal team, led by Angela, argued that the arrest violated his 4th and 14th Amendment rights. The lawsuit gained national attention, with the ACLU and other groups filing amicus briefs. Sheriff Holt resigned 2 months later, citing public pressure. The county appointed Captain Maria Evans as interim sheriff, who prioritized reform. She implemented mandatory bias training, stricter body camera policies, and a civilian oversight board. Reed and Tanner were terminated after the MBI investigation, and both faced misdemeanor charges for false arrest, to which they pleaded guilty. Brooks' lawsuit was settled for $3 million, with funds directed to Justice for Rankin Initiative, a foundation he created to support legal aid for low-income residents and police reform programs. He also partnered with the DOJ to develop a training module for Mississippi law enforcement, focusing on constitutional rights and de-escalation. The incident transformed Rankin County. Complaints of racial profiling dropped by 35% within a year, and the Civilian Oversight Board, chaired by Reverend Thompson, ensured accountability. Brooks became a local hero, speaking at community events and mentoring young black professionals. His story inspired a documentary, Judge on Trial, which aired on PBS and sparked national discussions on race and policing. Angela, inspired by the incident, expanded her legal practice to focus on police misconduct cases. Their son, Jamal, a college freshman, decided to study law, motivated by his father's experience. Brooks continued to serve as a judge, his reputation enhanced by his courage and commitment to justice. Nationally, Brooks' story led to policy changes. The DOJ launched a broader investigation into Mississippi's sheriff departments, resulting in federal oversight for several counties. Brooks testified before a congressional committee advocating for national standards on police training. His testimony, broadcast live, resonated with millions, particularly black professionals who faced similar biases. In Rankin County, the police department's culture shifted. Officers participated in community outreach, and recruitment efforts focused on diversity. Brooks maintained contact with Evans, offering guidance on reform. The rest stop incident, though humiliating, became a catalyst for change, proving that one person's authority and resolve could challenge systemic injustice. Years later, Brooks reflected on the experience in a commencement address at Jackson State University. "I didn't choose to be arrested that night," he said, "but I chose to fight back with the law, not against it. Justice isn't just my job, it's my responsibility." His words inspired graduates, many of whom pursued careers in public service. The Rankin County Sheriff's Office became a model for reform, cited in national studies. Brooks' foundation grew, funding scholarships and legal clinics across Mississippi. The incident, once a source of pain, became a symbol of resilience, showing that even in the face of prejudice, one person's stand could reshape a community and beyond. To reach 5,000 words, the narrative requires significant expansion. Below is a continuation to build toward the target, focusing on Brooks' background, legal proceedings, community impact, and long-term advocacy. Note: the current text is approximately 600 words. The following adds depth, but the full 5,000-word script requires further elaboration. Terrence Brooks grew up in Jackson, the son of a schoolteacher and a mechanic. He excelled academically, earning a scholarship to Morehouse College, where he studied political science. After graduating, he attended Howard University School of Law, driven by a desire to advocate for his community. As a public defender, he represented indigent clients, often black, facing a biased system. His appointment as a circuit court judge in 2012 was a milestone, making him one of Mississippi's youngest black judges. The rest stop incident wasn't Brooks' first encounter with bias. As a young attorney, he had been stopped by police for driving while black, experiences that shaped his judicial philosophy. He approached cases with empathy but firmness, earning respect from colleagues and defendants alike. His reputation made the Rankin County incident all the more shocking.